G'day everyone, it's Dr. Hugh Kimley from cgiclinic.com, and tonight I am at Adelaide Oval for the High School eSports League parenting talk run by the Children and Youth Commissioner for South Australia, Helen Connolly, and Nigel Smart, Adelaide Crows. So the talk tonight was for parents to talk about the sort of introduction of esports into Adelaide high schools, and I found out about this meeting online, and there were about less than 15 people, maybe 20 people tops, mainly from schools and concerned clinicians such as myself. And I guess this Facebook Live is really to just talk about my initial thoughts. I guess for me, my gut feeling is I felt really uncomfortable there. I felt like it's quite an odd experience. I'm still quite worried about the industry, Riot Games and gaming developers entering into the education system. And for me, I believe that problem gaming and gaming disorder, which was introduced into the World Health Organization this year, clinically is a problem of often authority, but in the end it comes down to brain changes in a very young developing brain and the effects of constant daily online gaming on the young brain. And I'm really quite concerned that the industry that makes millions, hundreds of millions of dollars from promoting this game somehow has influenced not only the Adelaide Crows, but obviously a government department commissioner. And yeah, I think it was also interesting that they had a parent of a esport professional. Her name was Tara Hendry, who gave a really nice sort of picture about her 16-year-old son's experience in esports. And I did a little quick search on her son, who has won about $3,000 in prize money. This is available online, and this is 0.1% of the total prize pool associated with this game. The game that her esport professional son is Rocket League. I haven't really come across this game, to be honest. A lot of the families that I work with, they play mainly Fortnite or League of Legends. And League of Legends is the game that the Crows is trying to promote with Riot Games. The game Rocket League, if you do a quick Google search, has had a total prize pool of about $2,600,000 since it was created. So that's a lot of money. And I guess for me, is the average child, the average gamer student, the population that this eSport League is targeting, how many of them will really see any of that prize money? So her son is a national champ. He plays for a team, and yet I don't know how much they get paid salary-wise. I hope they get more than minimum wage. But you know, for a 16-year-old child, you know, any kind of prize money to play their favorite game would be exciting and such a fun experience. And I think good on him. I think that obviously his parents are able to have a sense of authority and have a conversation with their son about emotional regulation, having a schedule, having a life outside gaming, being involved in community sports such as football and volunteering, which are all great things that you would want for your child. But these are not the types of players that I see, problematic gamers, children with gaming disorder, that I see in the clinical setting. And at the moment, I have a half day per week at the Women's and Children's to look at this problem, and that's spread between research and seeing children face to face. And since the World Health Organization came out with this disorder, I'm getting an increase of 1 referral per month to now 1 per week at least. And this is just through local networks and through this Facebook page. And I'm always getting other mental health teams asking me to give them a talk because this is my area of interest, but I simply cannot spread myself across all the different teams, not just child and youth, but also adult teams. Tonight they asked different questions. They asked, as a parent, what are your worries about eSports and your child's gaming? And also, what does your child think about your worries, and what do they think about their own gaming? And lastly, what we can do to reduce your worries associated with your child's gaming. And it brought up so many different emotions for me, because I guess I see a very narrow perspective. I see the severe end, and I know that not all children who game will have a disorder, but certainly it's enough to be concerned about, to advocate and fight for increased funding for services, because I'm just a one-man show. And I saw a clinician from Uniting Care, Wesley Bowden, who was there tonight, who's also very passionate about helping families and preventing mental illness. But this is just the beginning. We know from national research that there is a prevalence of about 4% in the population of addictive problems with internet and gaming use. And that equates to 78,000 teenagers Australia-wide. So that's 1.5 Adelaide Oval stadiums full. So this stadium right here is 50,000 seater. 78,000 is 1.5 times that. And this was a quote that I used in my TEDx talk 3 years ago. And a story is that in the 1980s, when pathological gambling was introduced as a disorder 30, 40 years ago, only 1% of the population, 1% had pathological gambling, and not many clinicians knew about this problem. And now, today, we know that problem gambling, addiction to pokies, addiction to sports bet, is a massive problem that is eroding our communities. And we know that, for example, in states like New South Wales, there are mini casinos in each RSL club. But luckily in South Australia and now Tasmania, there are a lot of restrictions around pokey quotas and access to that. So I think that's really interesting. But, there are rules and regulations around gambling, casinos, and there's age limits. So for me, my worries with gaming and esports as a clinician is concerns for the young person, concerns for the professionals. What is the minimum age that is acceptable for children to have a professional career? Are there safety measures for professional gamers who are teenagers? Are they allowed to have days off gaming? Do they need to meet gaming quotas, and I was glad to hear that Tara's son does not have those restrictions on him or pressures on him to succeed. But I do wonder what goes through the average child's mind that wants to become an esports player. And to be honest, the problematic gamers that I see don't necessarily want to be an esports player or professional. They're often playing to escape negative emotions, to regulate their emotions, and to get a sense of either power, dominance over other players, achievement, a sense of connection and socialization with other players, or they play simply just for the sake of playing and exploring. I guess the second question is, what do children think about their gaming? As a clinician, I see children not being aware of their gaming habits. They see daily gaming as a normal thing. They don't realize that a day off gaming per week is healthy for them. If they have a day off gaming, they feel like they need to be committed to their teams, that they feel guilty for leaving their teams. They feel like they need to play to feel good about themselves. They feel the need to play to feel connected to other people their age. And some of their worries are they want help. They feel connected to clinicians who care about their gaming and their imbalance in their gaming. I've had to turn away a lot of families because I'm unable to follow up. If I get a referral from, say, a colleague, just because they see me doesn't mean that I'll necessarily be implementing their treatment with regards to their gaming. I'll be giving recommendations to their specialist or their GP or to their parents, and there's no other real specialist service available. I'll be able to provide a formulation or a diagnosis saying yes, they meet the criteria for a gaming disorder, or no, or they've got a problem within their family structure, or they've got some problems at school that need attending to, or they might have another mental disorder that their doctor can treat. But a lot of them feel as though their clinicians, their specialists, don't understand what it's like for them to game, and that they feel more connected to someone who has a specific, unique interest in online gaming. And I actually met a lot of really cool school counsellors and wellbeing leaders who actively participate in their community for their students' eSports league, and organise them and provide guidance. So I think that's a sign they want me to leave, but the lights have gone down. But I think I'll just keep talking for a few more minutes. The last question is, what solutions do you have? What would make you feel better? And I guess for me, it's down to empowering you guys, the parents, clinicians, empowering concerned adults with the right information, the correct information that's unbiased, not influenced by the industry, that you can help your child and guide your child and do your duty and fulfill your role as a carer for your children. And it's a real shame that the industry, such as Riot Games, I think that's probably why I felt so uncomfortable with that. Deep down, I know that I personally can't stop the industry going into Adelaide high schools, public high schools. And I read that there was a report that 50% of South Australian public schools, or 50% of students from public schools in Adelaide, don't complete year 12. And this is a common thing that I see clinically. Kids who spend their time on the computer when they know they should be playing, not playing but doing their homework, know they should be going to school, but they feel like they can't do anything else. And that's when we know that they have an addictive problem. When their gaming takes priority over their other important activities, or there is a dysfunction in their ability to live their lives. So,
Hang on, are you part of the function?
I was downstairs, with Nigel Smart.
No worries. So was that for a previous function this evening?
Yeah, I'm just finishing up now. All right, I better get going because security are moving me on. But anyway, tune in. I'll keep posting up Facebook Lives, and thanks again for following CGI Clinic, computer gaming and internet awareness for you and your family. This is Dr. Hugh Kim Lee. Thank you very much.